Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the tier 10 Japanese battleship, the mighty Yamato. I'm using these modules and commander skills, and I believe it's a fairly old match. It should be before Royal Navy light cruisers were added. Anyways, this is a match on the map North, and by the way, notice that it's less than 1 minute into the game and I'm already spotted. This is kind of why I believe people like using things like the concealment module and the concealment skill, because, well, you wouldn't be spotted this far away. And right now that Montana is definitely shooting at me, like you can see the shells. And they actually did deal 6,000 damage. Sure, I'm gonna heal most of it, but you know, it's damage that I wouldn't have taken if I had had better concealment, although I think at this point I would be spotted anyway. Not because I fired my guns, I mean, sure, firing the guns would have definitely made me spotted, but because there's a DD inside the sea cap. I'm not quite certain how much closer I can go there, though. It might be dangerous, it might not be. My plan isn't really to go into the sea cap, at least not yet. I'm actually quite surprised that nobody on our team is going to the sea cap. There is, sure, one cruiser is more or less heading there, but you know, the guys that spawned near me decided not to go there, and wow, that is a Shimakaze in the sea cap. That is very dangerous. I was thinking of going towards the sea cap because I figured that since I spawned with teammates, they would come with me and we would try to fight and win. But right now, I might literally just die if I do a turn at the wrong time. Shimakaze shells might just end me. Until then, though, I'll be shooting some battleships. By the way, shout out to Pascucci, that's on my team. For some reason the name is rather familiar. I wonder why. Okay, well, the Rune came along. That is very good news, because the Rune might have Hydra up. Might, of course, I don't know for certain. But she is in front of me, which means that even if she doesn't have Hydra at this point, she would spot me anyway. I've taken a significant amount of damage and done almost nothing in return so far, but I'm afraid of turning away to run, and I don't have a good selection of targets here. Unfortunately, if you look at... okay, well, there's the torpedoes. Let's try to... I think I'm gonna take one, maybe two. That's a bit unfortunate. But let's try our best. So, basically, what's sad for me... oh! Actually, I think I got away with only one. That's pretty good. I was afraid of turning earlier because, you know, the torpedoes could have come at any moment, and if they had come at a time when I was turning, I would have just been dead. And that's a significant loss. So one of the unfortunate things, and why I'm slightly upset at this moment, is that one of the battleships went to D, alone. Why would you do that as a battleship? At least, you know, being a... like, I understand if you go to B or C alone, because enemy or allies that are going to be at A, or, you know, behind C, might be able to slightly support you. But if you're going D, there is absolutely nobody that can help you if you're alone, because nobody can shoot through those islands. Oh well. I mean, it's a significant loss of firepower to the team though, because that guy is not shooting at anything. He just doesn't have a good line of fire, and I believe that that is a significant issue of battleship play that people have. They put themselves into positions where they cannot fire very well, or cannot fire at all. And, you know, even if you're a really bad player and can't hit anything ever, if you just fire randomly, some of them are gonna hit, so... it's unfortunate, but I guess we will get the decap. Would have been better if a cruiser or a destroyer had gone though, because they are faster, and losing out on some firepower from those tends to not be as big of a deal, since cruisers and destroyers have to do selective fire much more often anyway. I really want to sit here to recover some HP though, and you know, since I have targets to fire at here, it's okay for now. Not to mention, if I go forward into B, I'm gonna put myself in the middle of a crossfire, or, you know, partial crossfire, because enemies are in the middle of their side. So I would be shot from the A direction and the C direction. I'm actually surprised that one of the cruisers is actually capping C. That is incredible. Very well done, cruiser. Like that guy, I wish our... Okay, so the battleship that went to D just met a destroyer, and it's probably the Shimakaze, which means... Okay, both destroyers are over there. That's actually somewhat good news. It means that other directions don't have to worry about DDs. However, the battleship that went to D might have a very hard time against the DD alone, since the DD can just run and spot, and the BB can't do anything about it. He can't catch up, and he can't really do much maneuvering either, because if he is caught by torpedoes at a bad turn, that's the ship gone. Unfortunately, the cruiser that was going to C got killed, but that's okay, we have a battleship backing it up there. Really, I guess we're not going to take C, but at least we're going to contest it slightly, because they are contesting A, which puts us at more or less into an equal position. I think we'll be able to defend the A cap though, because we have two battleships. One guy's on the map edge though, I don't understand, and one cruiser that's defending, so even if we lose, we should be able to take it back. This Montana is being very annoying though with the usage of his islands. I just park here because he can't really damage me significantly, or shouldn't be able to. And you know, I can still shoot him in return. Although, him parking behind that island there is a really good idea. But the Yamato is one of the most... Actually no, I think the Yamato might be the most accurate ship in the game, so I'll be able to deal damage over and over slightly. Well, I guess, you know, he did 8,000 damage to me, I did like 3,000 to him. I did get overpens though. On the other hand though, if she shows broadside like she is going to right now, that might end up in citadels, although, yeah. This is really unfortunate. I don't have any spotting, and she's showing broadside, but there is nothing that is spotting the ship. This is really, really, really unfortunate. Now I can see the ship, but she isn't showing a broadside, nor do I have a good line of fire. I guess I'll start moving forward again. That was really, really unfortunate, that we didn't have any spotting on the Montana. She was just showing such an incredibly good broadside, and she was unspotted. This was so unfortunate for our team. I mean, it's nobody's fault, really. Of course, actually, if you try to, you know, pinpoint this fault onto someone, I'm sure you could find somebody who would remotely be responsible, but honestly, you know, this is just one of those unfortunate things that does happen. It's like if you're just sailing along, doing a random turn, and then suddenly torpedoes out of nowhere. Sometimes bad things just happen. I mean, sure, you could consider it, oh yeah, the Montana played really well, but honestly, I don't think so. I think it's a much bigger deal in regards to how our ships moved, and, you know, we aren't coordinated, it's a random battle after all, so it makes sense that such scenarios happen. So I'm heading towards the B cap, because it seems a lot of ships have been taken care of on the A side. They managed to successfully defend it, which is very good. And, as a result, it might be okay to push into the B cap. Although, actually, I'm a bit worried about the Tirpitz. Let's just wait slightly. Because we want the Tirpitz to be either moving away or in a similar situation. Because, you know, I don't want her to torpedo me. Not to mention I still have a line of fire on this North Carolina, so it's not the worst thing in the world to just sit here and wait a little bit. But it seems the Tirpitz is moving away, so I think it might be okay to start moving into the B cap soon. Of course, helping out with the North Carolina kill is useful. So I'll try doing that for slightly more, I think. But I'll edge towards the B cap. Eventually I want to be able to, you know, contest it. And I think that should be the last salvo on the North Carolina. Oh wow. Kutuzov gave me smoke. I guess it might be for himself too. But I don't need to stay here. I don't have anything to do in this current position. So I need to start moving forward. Because if I stay inside the smoke, I don't have line of fire on the Tirpitz, and the North Carolina is dead at this point. And we aren't contesting the cap zone either, so... I mean, I understand, the smoke is good, but it doesn't give me much use, so... I think it's better to just keep going. Okay, so there's DD coming from behind. It's definitely a good idea to move now. Although I'll play with my speed, because I don't want to open a line of fire to the Montana and Tirpitz both. Not to mention my secondaries are opening up on the Fletcher, so... You know, it's slightly good if I stay a bit closer. I don't have much targets to fire at though with my guns, but secondaries are opening up, so that's good. And since I'm moving away, although I guess the unfortunate thing is that the Kutuzov does not have a path to run away on, but, you know... I have, and the Fletcher probably wants to torpedo me, so... It's kind of alright. Did the Kutuzov just fire AP? That would be incredibly unfortunate. I guess I'll try to get my back on... never mind. I just want the cap zone. But again, if you're moving away, especially if you have islands, etc. around, it's very difficult for torpedo destroyers to... or, you know, destroyers to make torpedoes useful. Okay, the Fletcher is gone, although our Kutuzov went as well, but it's kind of alright, I guess. The sad thing is that we are behind. We are behind in points and ships, but they only have one DD left, so it is a Shimakaze though, so it's slightly dangerous. But we should be able to deal quite a bit of damage to this Tirpitz, since she is running away, and she is more or less showing a broadside at a decent-ish range for me. I'm thinking of starting to move slightly. I don't want to sit completely still because I don't know specifically where the Shimakaze is. There might suddenly be torpedoes incoming, and if, you know, I'm standing still, that would be an instant death sentence. Wow, that Montana is still completely full HP. That is very unfortunate. And there's a Aerroon as well, so I guess I'm gonna start reversing here. One Montana is at half HP, the other one is at full. This is really, really unfortunate. So let's try to take a shot on this Aerroon. Hello. Aerroons are really annoying at this kind of range, because it's difficult to get citadel hits, like this was 5 overpens. Not even any penetrations, and I fired at the main belt of the ship. I didn't get even penetrations, only overpens. Okay, so the Montana is coming in range. She seems to be showing broadside, while I am not. And... yep, let's switch to the Montana. Wow, and she's going slow as well. Hello? 86,000 HP? Well, now it's 47,000 HP left. Only 2 citadels though. Could have been better. My secondaries are opening up, but because of my angle, you know, they're not doing very well. Main battery was broken, but because Damacon was going on, it got immediately repaired, but it still put it on cooldown. I do wonder, how does this work if you... Well, the Montana is still showing broadside, by the way. Only 2 pens this time. But I do wonder, how does it work if your gun gets broken, or torpedo tube? Sometimes it goes on cooldown, sometimes it doesn't if you DCP immediately. How does it work? Like, what's the criteria to make it broken and to not make it broken? So the Montana is coming closer, the Shimakaze is coming from behind, so I have to start moving. Also, there's another cruiser that's coming from behind. But I think the main focus should be on the Montana right now. She is coming closer, and I should be able to pen from this angle nicely. Goodbye. Wait, what? It only says 1 citadel. Oh, I guess it's 2 penetrations. Never mind. Right, that makes sense. And, Aerroon, goodbye. Okay, so a Montana is coming. I'm moving away the way I am, because I don't want to get all that much closer, but this might be a mistake, because I am opening up full broadside for the Montana. I think I should have gone closer. I just wanted to be greedy and fire all my guns. And I guess I did get 2 salvos off here, I think. I did 3 citadels, which would be like 50,000 damage. I guess it wasn't quite enough to kill it, but a salvo that was on the way at the same time was good enough. So, the Montanas were both taken care of. I have done my job. We are still behind in points, even though we are ahead in ships. But I think it'll be okay, since we should be able to get that Hindenburg down. And eventually the other battleship that's left. I think the mistake here was going or turning away. I should have gone closer to them and angled towards the Montana. That would have been an okay decision too. But, I mean, I didn't think of it at the time, so it's okay. So at this point it's Pascucci versus the Hindenburg and the Bismarck. Sorry, Shimakaze. I don't know where I read that Bismarck from. If Pascucci were a Bismarck here, this would be super easy, because he would have Hydra up and he would know whether the Shimakaze torpedoed, whether the Hindenburg torpedoed, and it would be super easy. If we could get a Shimakaze kill, we should be quite significantly ahead. Now the question is whether the Shimakaze actually torpedoed. I guess Pascucci is banking on the fact that she didn't, because Pascucci is turning... Oh my god. That's incredible. This is unexpected. I thought that Pascucci's turn would have been devastatingly deadly for him. But it turns out that no, that's actually what saved the ship. Well done. And I also noticed that our other Yamato was playing well, so I complimented both. And there goes the last Tirpitz. And we won the game, even though we were behind by like 200 or 300 points at one point. I did quite well. Our other Yamato did really well. And, you know, there were other teammates that did well as well. 583,000 credits. This new credits is amazing for tier 10 battleships. 252,000 damage. 7 citadel hits. 1 full solo cap. 2,655 base experience. 2,300 base experience on the second Yamato. 1,900 on the Moskva. Pascucci did also well with his 1,500, so... I mean, he is a Tirpitz in a tier 10 game, so it'll be difficult to do all that well anyway. Okay, looking at the battle start time, this was a while ago. I think this might have been the old economy, although I'm not quite certain here. Regardless, it was an enjoyable match. I did quite well in my Yamato, and I did quite a bit of damage. 17,000 from secondaries is quite significant. I think if I hadn't had secondary skill, then my secondaries obviously wouldn't have done as much damage. But they might have saved me some damage early on, because I would have had concealment. Good game though. Good game. I enjoyed it. Anyways, I hope you guys also enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the Patreons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Kablamo, and I hope I see you guys next time.